see if YouTube's up at all. Oh yeah, don't need to check YouTube then. We've got a comment now, so we know it's up. So my own comment didn't come through on the stream, but I think YouTube doesn't because I'm not a sub on my own channel, so it filters out ironically. Right, I think we're live everywhere now. Yeah, not too bad. I'm tired. Been up most of the night with a migraine. First one I've had in half a year now since being eating healthy, but it's because I haven't eaten healthy now for like 4 days. I've started eating rubbish again, takeaways and things, and it instantly got my first migraine from not having one in half a year. So I need to get back on the healthy eating stuff again. It's crazy that literally I've suffered with migraines all my life from like 12, 13 years old, like at least once a week permanently. And then since eating really, really healthily the last year, I haven't had a single migraine in 6 months. This is my first one, and it's because I started having slowly having more and more crap again, like McDonald's, and then I had a Chinese last night, and just overeating, and it's brought on a headache again. So yeah, back to eating healthy. So I might look a bit rough this morning, just tired, but we've got to get this. Well, we've got to get these two ideally done today, because these are now 50 odd days old. Don't know what's wrong with them. The customer, I think he originally paid for them as working systems, so just didn't pay for any diagnostics, and then emailed me with a bunch of issues. I've just noticed his shell's cracked here as well from the post. That one's got a little, that's gonna, yeah, that needs gluing back on. So that'll be damage in postage, because we haven't even worked on these yet, but that's fairly easy to glue that back on, so we'll keep that piece. Yeah, he hadn't paid for any diagnostics, and then emailed me after with a bunch of issues, and I'm like, I don't think you've understood the service. It's if your select system works, it means there's not going to be issues to fix. So he's then paid for diagnostics after, but I honestly can't remember what the issues were. I'm just going to power them up and see. That's the simplest way of figuring it out. So we'll tackle. Which one shall we tackle first? That's a heavy one. That's a light one. So this one will be an early revision. So I guess we might as well take a look at this first. And this one being lighter will be a later revision. Never trust the stickers on the back either. So the customer's sent in his own power supply and RGB cable, but this is set to 9 volts, and one of these might be 9 volts and one of them might not be. So we'll see. Oh yeah, my migraines are completely backwards. Like people didn't, well, I say people, doctors didn't believe I had migraines for years and years and years, because everything they tell you about migraines, mine are the opposite. So they say go in a dark room with quiet. That gives my migraines more energy than ever. It makes it 10 times worse. What literally gets rid of my migraines, you'll laugh at this. So this is genuinely what I do, and it'll instantaneously, probably not healthy light, but say this light, turn that off and literally shine it straight in my eye like that. And my migraine's gone right now, like completely instantaneous, like honest to God relief. So migraine's gone. It'll come back now within 30 seconds. But the weirdest thing, I don't know how I ever discovered that. If I shine bright light straight into my eye, the migraine like that, like a light switch. I can have one that's debilitating. I can't function. I can't think. Shine a torch in my eye and it's gone immediately. But I can't sit there with a torch in my eye, because it's obviously that can't be healthy for you in one way. But yeah, the most strange thing, like the migraine went, then it's like slowly building back up and coming back again. Don't know why, but if I have migraines, I need daylight, I need fresh air, I need noise going on. Like I've got to have not silence, because silence literally makes me head pound worse. And yet they'll say with migraines it's the exact opposite. So I think now they know a lot more about them, obviously. But back when I was having them as a kid, they were adamant that they'd also say, like, where's the migraine? And mine's like, right here, like I can physically feel it right there, or behind this eyeball. It's like, and they're like, oh, that's not migraines. Migraines are all over. And obviously now we know migraines all present differently. But mine are definitely not typical. Like, I've never met anyone that has migraines like me. So the missus suffers with them as well. But again, she hasn't had any since eating healthy. But she has the typical ones, like blind spots, like the aura before, where your vision goes, and she likes dark rooms and quiet, and that. So hers are completely typical. Oh, is that another? Both of these lost the exact same corner piece. This one's lost the exact same corner. How crazy is that? I was about to say, I've just caught my finger on that. That's the different one. So both of them have had impact in the post. Or is it this one? Or is it just more of it? Oh no, this is the one with the corner damage. So it's two pieces that have come off. So it's just the same corner, is it? That's weird. Yeah, so it's that same corner piece. So we've actually just got two pieces there. If you get a Saru with the Saturn, do you need an FRAM? You don't need an FRAM. An FRAM is just to allow you to save your games without needing a battery backup. But in the Saturn, you still need the battery anyway, I believe, for the clock. So you like the FRAM's purely so you don't lose your saves. But you're probably more so referring to the fact of not using the onboard Saturn save. I think the Saru can save to the card itself and not the system's memory. I'm not 100% on that, but I'd still recommend saving to the system's memory and just doing an FRAM mod anyway, because then you might have games that don't like being saved via the Saru in a slightly different way. It isn't worth not doing, I don't think. One more, I think that's out, it's just stuck in. There we go. And so this one is early revision, that you can tell by the weight. So you're going to have metal on the top and bottom. And the only reason I'm opening it up is to check for what voltage. So this one doesn't have a big coil. So this is a 5-volt only version. So, oh no, it's up there. So we've got the coil. Oh, not even looking at this is how bad the header's not even showing you the console. So what you look for, whether it's 5-volt or 9-volt, is basically this big coil as you kind of give away. Usually it's here. For on the early revisions, it's up here. So this is safe to put 9 volts into. Just make sure you figure that out before anything. So we have a 9-volt version here. Everything looks stock in this, I think. It's a quick glance. There's nothing done. It looks completely stock. So let's just see what happens when we power it up. And again, I'm using all the customer's equipment first. So we'll use, and they've sent 2 power bricks in as well, which is both of them are 9/10 volts. So, and then 2 AV cables. This one's a stereo mod cable where we go to the front. Let me try turning that light off as well. It's making that a bit over bright. There we go. Right, and so let's see what the issues are. And I think they've come in for a full recap as well. But I'll get Zach to do the recap. And I'll mainly be fixing the problems. So we don't need to put that on the headphone port for now. HDMI. Oh, have I left that on or just turned it on? I think I've only just turned it on. Right, so without a game, we should get stock BIOS, I think, is blue. Yeah, so it seems okay. It's not the right voltage level for the RGB, so it's a bit darker than it should be. Let's see if this works. And I'm sure he mentioned they didn't work. Well, I know he did. He mentioned there was problems. Headphones, put that in. Yes, this seems to work, to be honest. Oh no, there you go. Yeah, that ain't normal. Yeah. Yeah, that audio isn't right. So let's now try one of our clean RGB cables to see if the issue is the RGB cable we have. Or whether it's a system issue. So this issue is their cable as such, or the headphone port at the front. Oh yeah, Neo Geos, we get tons of them in. There's two on the desk. I've got 2 more down here, 3 more down here. So we've got another 2 there, board diagnostics. I've got another 2 here. Oh no, another 1 with a controller. I forgot. Another 1 there. Got a controller in, so yeah, Neo Geo heaven. I think the announcements for the new one sparked a little bit more of people getting back into them, but they've always been busy for us, to be honest. Neo Geo. Hey, welcome in. Yeah, I said at the start of the stream, I've got an absolutely banging migraine for the first time in 6 months because I've been eating unhealthily for 4 days. So it's literally, this is the first headache now I've had in 6 months, but in fairness, it's me being naughty again. I've gone off the rails on the healthy eating and I just crap for 4 days, so I feel queasy and rough as hell at the minute. So we'll see how we go. Right, so this is okay with audio there. Oh no, crap is crap. I worked out last night. I've had 4,300 calories yesterday. I've had Toblerones, chocolates, a Chinese for tea. I was kind of healthy in the middle of the day. I had like pepperoni sticks and a Huel, but just too much food. Day before, I had a Subway's spud, but I had like double tuna. So just basically too much food and I think too much crap. I put like half a stone on in a week and a half. So I'm on I'm going to just starve myself for a few days. Yeah, so that issue is the headphone port because that sounds the same as that cable. Yeah, cool. See you in a little bit. I'll probably still be on here, hopefully. I'm on TikTok. Yeah, I'm on now, but they block me all the time. So we're literally streaming live on TikTok, but it doesn't show it. It like blocks us just permanently. So I keep just pushing it out there, but there's something messed up with TikTok as a whole. It just never ever shows properly. Right, so this one's got really the only issue we've seen. Probably better play a game a little bit. Check everything else is fine, but the issue on this one's the headphone port, which might get fixed by doing the recap. Why have we not got audio now? Oh, you guys can hear that, can't you? But I don't sometimes. So I presume that's coming through on your stream. But then it stopped. Yeah, it's the problem with me now. It's this Camlink capture card. It just keeps dropping audio. Let me... what do I do here now? Let's going to be, I don't like changing OBS settings midstream, but let me see if I can get my audio back, because we've got to fix an audio issue and now we've lost audio. Desktop audio not connected, huh? Device not connected or not of it. Oh, wicked. How have we not got? Yeah. Where is it? Advanced monitoring device, algae. So change it to default, apply, back to algae, apply. No, I think it's the capture card. The last thing I want to do is get on my hands and knees to look at that, because it's going to make my head even worse. We know there's an audio issue on the headphone port anyway, so we can play it after to check there's no other issues. Let's just take a look at if there's anything obvious on the audio side. And then this one I'd probably start with a recap anyway, because it's falling out every time. It's like it knows I don't want to bend down today. Oh yeah, sets the head off. Yeah, the headphone audio might be related to the caps, so it might be worth, instead of diagnosing, doing the recap on this one first, and then jumping on the other one while Zach recaps this, but he isn't in yet anyway, so skate out the board first. Then we can, might as well take that off screen for now. Is YouTube actually working as well? It must be. Yeah, the count's just saying 0, but let's have a quick look on YouTube. That's a pain. It looks like we got no counts on Facebook, no counts on YouTube, and yet we've got people on there. Let's have a look. Out of curiosity, view channel, unless it's dropped. Oh, yeah, we're live there. Yeah, there's 13 on YouTube, so just the count's screwed up, showing nobody. I might as well hide the count then, to be honest, for now. There we go, that's the counts hidden on that one. Viewers. There we go, so it doesn't look like nobody's in. No point looking at the count if it's not showing there. On the early revisions as well, you've got this extra board on top, which was to fix something on, I think every time I look at it, I figure it out as we're going, but it's to fix some phase issues on the video circuit. It puts something back in sync. I can't remember the issue they had, but this is a stock board, but it was an afterthought. They had to obviously design this board and then fit it on. Because it's going to get in our way, we will disconnect this. And then we will desolder probably off this chip. So we just got to remember it's on this chip here, which will be, am I going to remember that with a dodgy headache at the minute? I should do. If not, we want to, you guys can remember for me if I forget. Where's the top down camera? Whoa. Can't even get my bearings. There we go. So if I forget, buy this connector for the memory card. We'll go in on this pin here for the black wire. So we will put a bit of solder on there. That's it. And now we can get this board out of the way. Let's put him, where can I put him? Over there for now. Oh no, putting the screwdriver away. I haven't got the board out yet. Hey, welcome in. Right, is that all the wire? All the screws? No, obviously. Missed one right there. And one over here. Now have we got them all? There we go. Right. Left them out. So you see on the early revisions, the bottom has metal on as well, shielding. That's why you can kind of tell straight away on the weight of the systems, if you're used to the weight of them. You can tell the heavy ones. Right, where do we even go with this? We want to, like I said, I don't know whether, I think I'll just look around the audio area for now, and then probably recap it first anyway, before we dig into too much. Cap or impedance problem, could be anything, could be neither of those things as well. Let's pull up the schematic. Might as well do a little bit of proper investigation. Where are we? Neo Geo schematic. Right, put that over there. Go to there. Oh, thanks for the follow. Oh, I've got white line, can't even see what that is. Oh, thanks for the sub. Dirty volume slider. I don't think so, not from the sound. Let's just have a glance at it. The audio's got quite a lot of paths. I think I did on the wiki, to be honest. I think I've done a lot of this on the wiki somewhere. I can't remember, it's been that long ago. SNK. Neo Geo AES. Yeah, I've done absolutely tons on the audio circuit if I can be bothered reading my own work. So this is a big breakdown of how all of it works, where it all goes to, what you should see on the scope, everything involved, blah, blah, blah. But that's a lot of reading for me. I know it's my own writing and it's probably the correct details, but I don't have the brain power this morning to read my own work. Yeah, you're the one with the issues on the Neo Geo. We'll see if either of these have that issue as well. This has got audio issues at the minute on just the headphone section. But I've got a cracking migraine at the minute, so I'm going to be very slow on brain power this morning. Audio mono, so it's not that mix. Now, considering what we can... Why is it not scrolling? Why is that cropping on your screens? Oh, I've only just noticed the PC overlay has zoomed in incorrectly. Can I be bothered to fix that this morning? Is that scaled down? I'm going to have to go into PC overlay 1 second. Right, there we go. Now you should be able to see the full screen. I don't know why that was resized, no idea. So from here, we know that mono audio goes to the AV port at the back, and that's fine. So that must mean that the audio left and right going into here are no problem. So it means this bit and this bit are fine. There's no issues with that audio. We've got a clickable link. No, didn't say. That'd be weird if a schematic could click and link in. So we know the issue isn't going to be audio up to this point. It's got to be after audio left and right get merged. Oh, for migraine. To be honest, the only thing that works for my migraines is Nurofen. But because I've been free from headaches for 6 months, I keep refusing to. I haven't had a single Nurofen, but to be honest, it's probably the wise choice at the minute. I've had like 4 pints of water this morning. and nothing's getting rid of it so far. So I might just go grab some Nurofen, to be honest, because it normally takes it off within 15 minutes. Let me just go grab some, because I'm struggling with this head at the minute, I can tell you that much. There we go. I haven't had them in that long. Couldn't even find where they were. Luckily, there's literally 2 left. So take the magic pills. That'll hopefully help. So we have that's the AV port. So you can see mono audio goes in here. That's that mix, and then goes through this cap into the output, well, into the CXA, and then out of the CXA, and all that entire path is good. So it can't be the issue with the mono audio. And because left and right audio mix in here before turning into mono, we know the audio path is good up to this point. It has to be. So we're looking for the headphone port. Is this it? I think it is. Yeah, so this is what we're interested in here. Something's going wrong here with the audio, and it could be these 2 caps. It could be the volume wheel. It could be these 2 caps. It could be pretty much anything on this entire circuit. It could be. So simplest way is to get this. Let's go back to this view with that. Move that over. No, the sound, but let me show you. It's got issues on the headphone port. So I'll plug that in, and turn on. Excuse me. Is this not turned on? Yeah, so that wasn't loaded by the sounds of it. Or got worse. Okay. That's worse than that. That's got no sound now. Let's see what's going on first. Because for some reason, it's not loading the game anymore. Or if it is, the headphone jack's got even worse. Why has that got no signal as well? We literally have signal. Oh, I bet this my favourite Elgato tool is going to be. Oh no, it's there. It's on again. Right. So why are we not getting anything now? Oh, wicked. Console doesn't even boot. Oh, yeah. You know, the board we took off, we need to put that back on. So that'll be the problem there. Let me just chuck this back on. Told you this head is going to make this repair fun. I'm operating on about 5% brain power. Let's put this on here. Wow, I can't even solder this morning. There we go. Turn on again. So now we should get that and power. Jeez, it's going to be fun. Plug the power in. And then, right, that's booting. Audio's fine on this, which is now working again for some reason. We've got audio again. But on here, So that's the issue we have on the audio. Unplug that. So corrupt and glitchy, basically. So what we're going to do, the easiest way to solve audio issues is to get this, like a powered audio plug, and then if I can find my thing I used yesterday. Oh, I really don't want to be bending down. And of course, it's somewhere. I don't even know what I've done with it. Why did I decide to do a stream this morning with a migraine? I didn't think it was going to be this bad. I thought it was going to fade off. I only used it yesterday. Where is it? Not there. Not there. Oh, what have I done with it? What was I even working on? It was an Amiga once I was using it on. I need to put it somewhere else where I don't forget it. I seem to... Shall I just give up? Is there any other way of doing this? Not really. I need to either find my little tool thing that I've misplaced, or I need to make another. I was using the Amiga. I haven't put it back in the Amiga tub, have I, by mistake? No. So it's got to be around my desk somewhere. Under here, maybe. Can't see it anywhere. There he is. Yeah, this needs to live in a different place so I don't keep losing it. Right, so if you want to find issues with audio, basically get a powered speaker with a battery, a female 3.5mm jack, 2 RCA connectors, so we can do this. And then what I've done is on one of the channels, I've soldered a wire to out of it. I soldered a wire to the outside shield, so this is now effectively our ground. So if I then soldered this to the system's ground anywhere, and I've soldered another wire to the tip, we can then probe around like this to listen and effectively just probe where audio is until we find the corruption. So this is something I come up with, and I've no idea if anybody else ever does this or whether it's literally a technique I've invented in a sense for diagnosing audio, but it's by far the best way to diagnose audio. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do now, is probe the audio path based on the schematic and probe it from where it goes good and follow it through. So say all these locations on here, we can probe where we know is good, which is this audio left point here. And then we can probe the other side of the cap, and then the other side of the volume wheel, and then the other side of this cap until the volume goes, until the audio corrupts, basically. It's the fastest way of finding the problem, because then you know exactly at what point it fails. It's way easier than oscilloscope work or anything else. Come on, Nurofen, kick in. I feel dizzy. I've got that bad of a head. This is insane. To find a good close ground point. Power switch. I don't think that shield's ground. I think that's ground. Ground on it. Oh, we've got power in for them. We don't want power in when we're probing for ground. Large cap, there's ground. So Yeah, so the yellow, oh wow, I was going to say the yellow is ground on this, but it's not. The cartridge port has known grounds on, so this is a switched ground system as well. Yeah, so the black is ground, which makes more sense. Which means that's a ground. And that, so the outer pins on the cartridge port are ground. Which, if we wanted to double check that, again on my wiki, if I actually used it, and you go to, I think, initial power up, I show on here different versions, but I think I showed there common ground is always the slot. So that's like, obviously, if my head was working normally, I'd have found that straight away. So we want to point close to this area where the audio is, where I can pick up ground, just so the wire's not floating too far, basically. Where is a ground? There we go. So bottom pin of this chip we'll use. So this chip here, I'm going to pick this up as ground. Just, it's a close point, basically. The additional board on this one, the brown board, is an issue they had on part of the crystal at the top, which I believe is to do with either the chroma output or one of the main system clocks, and they obviously had an issue on the board, so they added, well, they had multiple issues on this board with it being one of the first revisions. They added this that they had to put all this system on to replace ultimately what this crystal was doing here. So they replaced this crystal and then tapped in a few important parts. This 7404 generates lots of clock signals. Basically, a clock comes in and this sends them out at different phases, in a sense. And then this board is, again, it looks like they had issues with the onboard power system here through the transistor setup. They obviously did something wrong. So they moved it off to a separate board, and this converts the 9 volts down to 5. So they've obviously, when they built this first version, or one of the early versions, they realized they got issues, and the solution was to make those add-on boards, basically. It was fairly common back in the day. I think all the rush to get to market first, with it being the early home console scene, so fairly common. Oh yeah, the audio on an oscilloscope is an art form in itself. So I think I first did this 4 years and years ago now. Probably, I first did this about 4 years ago. If I'm going to guess, might have been further. Just because I don't know what even made me think of the idea, but it's by far the best way to find any audio. You can literally just walk through the system and probe the points, and we'll find this now in the next 3 minutes. We'll know where the audio's bad, basically. That's how easy this will be. So, thanks for the resub. So what we have now is game in, power in. We don't really need the video on. This is connected, so we're fine. We've got the speaker turned on and connected to the system's ground. So now, usually, there you go, you can hear that. So that'll be me being grounded to the floor and mains hum coming through my body. So what we're doing now, turning on, and we want to probe for audio. So turned on, we want to find something to probe. So let's start with where we know it's good, C25, which is almost definitely going to be one of these two caps down here. And probably not labeled, but what you've got here is, you can see you've got, we should have a 1 nanofarad cap. These are polystyrene, are they, or film? No, these would be film resistors. These film capacitors. These are only ever used on audio. There's no other purpose for using these. So we know the audio is around here. headphone jacks here, volume sliders here. So we know it's good. Like, we could probably just probe here and get audio. But let's go on. See, we're looking for 10 microfarad caps. I'm going to guess that these, but maybe not. We've got 1s here, 22s here, and there's different revisions. And then it eventually goes into morning, welcome in. Goes into, I'm going to say, a 4741 chip. So I'm going to say it's this one, and it's just the schematics don't match. I'm going a lot off memory here, so I'm guessing this one that isn't labelled the same is going to be this circuit here that goes off with two 2K resistors, where are they going to? I don't think this is even remotely the same as a schematic. Because we've got, yeah, sorry, let's just probe around. I'm not even going to bother waiting, let's just probe. I don't think this matches the schematic at all. So, there we go. There's some audio, it's corrupt, so wherever that is, it's broken. Turn up. Right, so it's okay there. It's corrupt there. And it's corrupt there. So this side, it seems fine. It's quieter, but I'm sure it's pretty close to the mic. It's hard to tell, to be honest. I kind of want to... I'm not 100% sure it's okay at that point. It's just quieter, obviously, because it'll be attenuated. But this is... I'm pretty sure if you follow these two traces up, this audio is going all the way up and probably into Z80. So where are we? Can do with finding out where we are on the circuit, because this cap, for example, here, I'm just probing on these, is very corrupt there. So I think we need to go back further. I know I said we wanted to go to, like, I presumed it was okay up to this audio left and right, but maybe the traces running up to there are the problem. So you could do with finding, obviously, a definite good source first, and I'm not happy with any of those audios. So let's go back to here then. So we have audio left and right, somewhere near, again, a 4741, which is an audio amp. Where is audio? Oh, we can go further back than that. We've got the Neo Geos have everything in different locations. Every version has it in a different spot. Where's the audio chip? Right, so we're in completely wrong spot just because the headphones are down here. We go all the way up here, back to the top of the board. This is one of the sound chips. So if I get probing onto here, oh, that's got a nice high-pitched hum now from nowhere. We want to go on, where's the Yamaha chip? So we're looking at this chip here. So that's the Yamaha. We can see it goes into these little op amps. They'll be for audio. So pin 11 should be one of the audios. Pin 10 should be. Then it goes to the film resistors there, which is going to be these here. So basically these film resistors and pin 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this pin should be good. And the thing is, it has to be good in a way, because it's going to the output port that sounds fine. Is that maybe just too loud? It might just be. We've got, like, obviously when you're probing around here, you're expecting attenuated voltage levels. this might be one of those situations where we can't just directly probe because it's still got that corruption on. Yeah, so they're corrupt at this point, which is, it can't be in a sense because the output port's fine. And this wire isn't long. Oh, it is. Let's probe on the output. If the output on this AV port is fine, then we know that the volume's just too loud and it's making it corrupt, which makes this test a bit harder. We'd have to maybe do a voltage divider, which is even more work. So the audio is audio on the underside. 1, 2, 3. Turn it round. Looking in from there, so it's third leg down. So I think it's going to be this pin here. Oh. Why is that corrupt on the output port? That's interesting because it's not corrupt when it's fed into here. What is going on with that? That's an interesting one. Huh. My clean RGB is doing some kind of magic. That should be corrupt. That's, I think all we're dealing with here then is over voltage. Where does the output to AV and 3mm split? It splits on the PCB, basically. It goes from the audio amp. Well, the audio is generated up here. The cartridge can inject audio into the feed. There's a few places it all merges. And then it comes through, goes to some op amps, which I can't find on this board. They're all in different places, but basically it goes through 2 op amps, which are that's what we're looking at here. So this chip here is the main audio chip, which is the one up here. Well, one of the main audios. It comes out, goes through U28 to be buffered, gets mixed and goes into U29 to be buffered again. So we end up with basically stereo audio after one buffer. That goes to the 3.5mm jack. But then after that, they go and get merged through U29 into a mono output, which ends up over here. So it's traces running all the way across the boards. But why do we now have audio corrupt on? We don't get it corrupt when we use the clean RGB cable, but it is corrupt when we're using our test probe. So I think we're dealing with the voltage being too high, and it's just being corrected somehow in maybe the OSSC is automatically correcting for the voltage levels, but then the other cable isn't. It's a weird one, this is. It's very weird. Shouldn't be working. Like, because the other cable doesn't work, and the other cable doesn't tap off the headphone. It doesn't tap off that port. But then when we're tapping off it, it should be attenuating. So I still think it's just purely. Mind you, if it's voltage level, see, that throws a spanner in the works for that as well. If it was purely voltage level, then when we connect, where's the cable gone? When we connect this other one up and turn the volume down, the corruption should go. So that's another thing that would mean it's not that. Might end up being, of all the times I said this is the best way to scope audio, this might be one of the times we need an oscilloscope to maybe give us an idea what's going on. Right, so this one taps in the front. 2576, no idea at the moment. I'm still trying to form some hypotheses of what it could be. And I'm not 100% confident now on what the issue is yet, but if it is over voltage, there you go. Why is that normal? What is going on? No, it's fine. What is going on? Why? What the hell is going on? I don't get this. Okay, so if I turn the volume down very low, then it's fine on the speaker. And then obviously when you turn it up, so the voltage is wrong on the headphone port. But when you're using the cables, it's fine. Let me try headphones. So it does still add up to being... I mean, to be honest, I've probably never probed the headphone port with the speaker on a Neo Geo. Maybe this is the output voltage it always outputs, and it's just expecting the speakers to attenuate. Oh, geez, yeah. That's over voltaged. Holy sh... I don't know why I put him here again. Yeah, listen to this. You can suffer with me. I bet you can't hear that actually. Yeah, that's that is ear bursting loud. But is that maybe that's how these Neo Geos output the audio? So you can drive heavier speakers, just don't turn it up full volume if you're going to use it in the ear. But then I'm guessing then the original corrupt audio was just a dirty headphone socket or dirty volume wheel. And then it is over voltaged, but maybe that's normal on this version of AES. And then we just happen to discover that issue because this will expect the correct voltage level. So if we keep it low, it's fine. And then if we turn it up, you can see it's massively corrupt. So I know for a fact this is outputting the wrong voltage, but this cable, the fact this cable is expecting that voltage means that the Neo Geo obviously does output that by default. So after all that, we haven't really got an issue as such on this, bar it needs a good service and clean. So that means the headphone port needs cleaning, the back port needs cleaning, and we've discovered, which maybe I knew already and forgot a long time ago, but the voltage on this headphone port is not within standards. So standard mic level audio should be 1 volt. So let's see what it is on the scope out of curiosity. I can tell you now that's going to be way above 1 volt. I reckon it's going to be 2.5 to 3 volt, which is not good for headphones if you're going to... 1 second. Not good for headphones if you're going to plug them in and turn them up full volume. The black cable is the customer's, made by somebody else. It's for stereo audio, so you can plug the rear port mixes the left and right channels into 1 pin and then sends it out over a single pin. So you're getting stereo audio in the sense, you're getting all the audio, but it's basically mixed into one. So if you have a TV with left and right speakers, you're going to get the same audio coming out of both. Whereas the black speaker, so the blue speaker's mine, this is something we make, it's called the clean RGB cable, super high quality, triple shielded, all that goodness. But some people want stereo. We've got one of these cables coming with stereo where we mod the output port and send stereo audio through. But until then, this cable was before I've made mine. This just has an extension here that connects to the pins here going to the TV, and instead you then hijack the headphone port, which is true left and right stereo. So basically the black cable is giving you stereo audio, but it's also tapping the audio off from a different spot. So that's what that cable's doing. But yeah, it's obviously working, and we just need to service those ports. So this one should be good for Zach to recap and work on now, so we can jump on the next one. Let me just get this call a second. Back again. Yeah, so this blue cable and the other one are going to an OSSC, and then through to the Elgato. So basically, cable just goes into OSSC down here. So that's where it's plugged in, and then it goes to, this is just another switcher because I've got the retro scaler under there. So I'll put the composite through the retro scaler, RGB through the OSSC. They both then go through a switcher to HDMI to that Elgato that you see on the screen. And that's how all that works. So this one's basically just needs a service and a recap now. For the audio, to be honest, not necessarily. There's it's just wrong in the standards. The standards existed back then, but they weren't as strict. So it was probably to drive the cheaper headphones that didn't have as good drivers in them, because you can get headphones that are 16 ohm instead of 8 ohm, and they need more energy to drive. So it was partly maybe that, and partly they maybe just made mistakes with the design. It could have been either. Right, so next one, while that's getting recapped, we get all the screws for this off the desk so we don't start mixing them up. Chucked one screw somewhere. I'll have to find that after. Right, so same again with this one. Don't ever power on Neo Geos without opening them up. Some are 5 volts, some are 9. Don't rely on the sticker or Google to tell you what's what, because these can be shell swapped. So never ever plug in. That's why you'll never see me turn on a Neo Geo without first opening it up ever, because you don't know what's inside. Where's my little... I'll use this. So where's my tool for gaining? So you've got screws. You've always got one screw here, and then this is just plastic underneath. And then the 3 feet have screws on as well. You can warm the feet up. If they don't come off easily, which these do, you can warm them up gently. Ironically, I have seen people apply 9 volts to the 5 volt systems and they survive, but I certainly wouldn't be risking it, and they wouldn't survive for long. But it's not an instant plug in and die situation normally, luckily. Was it you watching the football this morning, middle of the night, or was that Brad? I know, because you mentioned, didn't you, they were like it was on middle of the day, middle of the night. Alright, so you see these later revisions, they don't have the metal shielding in the lids anymore, so they're lighter. I think that was all about passing RF emissions and stuff as well. And there's a broken foot, so I'll have to glue him back in. Is this the one with the damage? No, so one's got a crack on the shell there. This one's got it will be this snapped off here. So I'll just epoxy or Q-bond this back onto here. That's one of the screw posts, so I can fix that for the customer. It's not a big issue. And this one's 9 volt as well, so luckily the problem won't be the customer's power supply. So now we can safely power this up. And let's see what this one does. So let's use the customer's one's already plugged in, so I'm going to use the customer's on this one as well. There's the other end. Morning, welcome in. That goes on there. This in here. Into the headphone port, and I think that's everything. Debug. We got a custom BIOS on for one, but that shouldn't have gone into debug mode. Okay, I don't know what BIOS this is. I presume it's UniBIOS. So we've got a custom BIOS installed here by the looks. Oh, maybe that's just an early revision where that's like normal, then to pause. It's probably a very early revision of the UniBIOS where it shows a debug screen first and then loads up, as opposed to it just being silently not there. So that looks fine. Now let's test this actually. Oh, I was about to say that's fine. That will be bad cartridge connector. So the slightest knock on that and it's made it obviously crash. So that'll be. There you go. The thing. I already have to wait for it to load. Let's check it can survive a slight wobble. No, it can't even survive slightly tapping it. So this one is going to have issues on the cartridge port. Let's wait for that load again and just do it a few times. Hello, welcome in from Facebook. I don't think the view stuff's working at the minute, so I've hidden it. Let's see if it's working again. Oh, yeah, there we go. Turn it on and off. We've now got viewers working, hopefully. Right, so yeah, one little tap. Oh, this might be a part of the game where it doesn't load off the cartridge. So definitely a very touchy cartridge port. Thanks for the follow. we'll try, ignoring the fact that we know if we move that at all, it's going to crash. We'll just quickly try the game, that it, the system works in general. And you can see because these aren't our clean RGB, so this, obviously our clean RGB on here, just literally moving the console's killed it. We fit a mod and fix the voltage levels. That should be pure white. So see how Neo Geo is like grey. That's the problem with all these other cables and mods. They don't actually set the voltage level correctly. So I don't know whether the customer's paid for that, but that's why the screen's a little bit dark. So let's see. Easy. Go big screen. Wrong one. I'm no good at this game. And this controller doesn't work very well. My gamepad is not very responsive. Yeah. Oh, still alive. Ooh, that was close. Right, so in general, this seems okay. It'll get a heavier test when we finish with the work. But this one's main issue seems to be the cartridge port is going to need a full service to get that working. They'll always crash if you wobble the cartridge a lot, because obviously when they're in, they're locked by the plastic, but it shouldn't be that sensitive that the slightest tap makes it crash. So let's just see. Let's see what it's actually paid for. I don't even know what extra work wants doing on this. Let me just check. Work consoles. Neo Geo, right, we've got Unibios, Clean Light RGB. Oh, they haven't had a recap. I thought they'd had a recap. Let me check the other. Full recap. Oh, he's paid actually for a full recap, so he hasn't actually paid for diagnostics. I thought he paid servicing for diagnostics. He's just paid for recaps. So he hasn't actually paid for any issues. So we'll just do them anyway. One is just obviously the audio is fairly normal but needs a clean. The basic service stuff anyway, so they are effectively working. So one wants the US NTSC, which is Neo Geo US. So the first one is the US. So that one wants a Unibios and a clean light. So that, and then the full recap, yeah. And then this one we're on now wants nothing on the mods, full recap with debug BIOS and the rest of what it's got the debug BIOS already. The US NTSC console, so this one is just a full recap, and the other one is the clean light. So I'll do the clean light, and then these two just need recapping. So, you're already starting that anyway. I'll just I'll get this one out the shell, and then I could start. Oh, there's more plastic on this. One of these Neo Geos has got quite a lot of cracks on the plastic. Not the way. Right, so we've got to do a recap on this then. This one's just, well, we've got to service the cartridge ports as well. So I don't know whether to do that first. So this doesn't look like they've really expanded. I think that probably just wants more of a gentle polish, I'd say. IPA and polish. So I'm going to get a slithered sandpaper and just, I think that's maybe too thick still. You've still got that like thin sandpaper you think you used to use, or was that long since? Yeah. I need to make more of them. Or needs cutting. Do you want me to cut it down a bit further? It's smooth as. So this is perfect way to get into tight spots as well. Just glue some sandpaper to a screen disassembler tool, but this is now worn off, so I could, I probably should peel this off and glue some new ones on. I was going to say I could just cut the metal, but considering we don't want it to be too aggressive anyway on this, I'm probably just going to use that that front piece, clean it up, and then it's just a very, this is like almost worn down, so it's going to be a very light polish. Oh yeah, the caps, there's tons of caps on this thing, look, just everywhere, and all by plastic. Normal for the cartridge, but in this cartridge, no, it's not normal for one to be higher and lower as such. Or you're referring to this, which kind of looks higher and lower, which to be honest, they actually are. So I'm saying they're not, but they are actually higher and lower. So yeah, you see that kind of stagger. I always thought it was just an optical illusion when you look at it, but they are technically, some are higher, some are lower. Whether there's a reason for that or whether it was just manufacturing, it might just be how they're manufactured and inserted, why that is. So yeah, they are actually they are staggered in sequence, but I never really noticed, to be honest. Normally when you do that, it's for things like making sure that power's making contact first for a brief second before. So when you insert things, you'll get either data pins connected first and power last, or the other way around, so that, you know, when the system tries to boot up, it's like a poor man's power up sequencer. But in modern systems, you have actual power up sequence control, so it doesn't matter about the physical connection of power. So that's a little polish. Once more with a bit of IPA, and then another slight polish. And that will do on that. And then now we need to do all the caps. So on this, pretty much everything can go to ceramics, which is the good thing. You don't need to bother with all of these. I don't know whether our... let me just check our new cap kits, whether they come with the ceramics already. Cleaning the power port, vinegar bath normally. So get some vinegar, put it in the microwave for a minute so it's steaming hot. Put it in like a cup or a bowl, something that you can get the corner of this in, and then like dunk that in the vinegar, leave it for a few minutes. Then after that, take it out, spray IPA in there, and insert and remove the DC jack. And then if you really wanted to get in there, I'd probably use a mini diamond file, because you're mainly trying to get on the flat. So you see that flat plate here, this big wide flat plate, that's a spring that I can't really get on camera at the right angle here, but that's basically a spring that goes up like that. And when you put you've got the DC jack pin like that, and you've got the spring at the bottom there. And when you insert this power plug, so this power plug's hole there goes in imagine this is the DC pin hole, it goes into that, and this outer bit has this spring, which that gold spring, and that rides and then touches this. So basically this, imagine this tweezer is your kind of gold spring, that's what you're seeing there. That gets pushed down by this port. So, you know, this going in pushes that down. So the dirt will be mainly where this spring contacts this metal poker. So you want to be like cleaning here effectively, which the best way to do that is either a micro file, or just like say vinegar bath first, IPA this end, and then insert and remove it over and over to kind of polish it. Hey, welcome in. Oh, delivery day. Oh yeah, so ceramic caps, that's what I was just quickly looking at. If our new cap kits are ceramics. Documentation, cap kits, SMK. Oh, we haven't ordered new inject. No, so we haven't actually got the new Neo Geo kits in yet, so I'll just use what I normally use, which is our ceramics. On TikTok, yeah, thanks for watching so far. I don't notice the comments at the minute because TikTok keep blocking every single stream, so I rarely notice the comments. Do you do SNES console shells? Not at the minute, no. It's something that we want to do, but I think I was meant to be making the Mega Drive shell first before that. Right, so there's a few ways of getting the caps off this, mainly because these are all round plastics. Your honest best bet to get these off, especially considering we're replacing them with ceramics, is just get side cutters and just snip the caps off underneath. If you can't get your side cutters off, you could be aggressive and you could I'll do it on this one, say, you could wiggle left and right and sort of pull up, and you'll be left with the legs like that. So you've got the legs in there of the cap, and then you basically pull them out of the cap. And then what you could do is you could just get your iron on then from the top or bottom. Let's say from here. You could just then do a single pin at a time and gain access to it easily. So you could just put your iron on there, being careful not to melt any of this plastic that's all right around where you are, and you can just grab and pull each pin out nice and easily. So that's like probably the recommended way on this console, just because I know the PCBs are strong enough to support this kind of grab, wiggle, and sort of tug off. I know that the traces are strong on the Neo Geos, so you can just do that and lift them off, no problem. And it just prevents you melting any plastics or even having a risk of melting plastics if you just take them off this way. It doesn't work on every console because sort of pulling and wriggling can pull traces, but on this one, like I say, it's strong enough to support being manhandled in that way. If there was no plastic around, I'd just recommend probably hot airing them off. And you can also, if you're perfectly fine with it, you can just flip the board over, go to say this one here, and this is the pins of the cap, and you could just, they're close enough that you can just warm both up together like that. And then on the other side, without burning my finger, you could just grab the cap like there, warm up, and bear in mind these caps can get hot if you're on them too long. You can warm that up, and then you could pull the cap out. But bear in mind, you have to make sure both legs of the cap are liquidous at the same time. Otherwise, if you have only one of the legs liquidous and you pull, you can pull traces out. So I'd personally recommend on this one to snip them out where you can, and if you can't, then twist the top off and take one leg out at a time, because you can see how much longer this is taking. I'm not even going to bother doing it that way. It's easier to I think this is the one we were starting work on. I managed to get one leg partly out, but say you could get under that now, you can snip the cap off and then take these out here. So again, watching the plastic left and right, you can just warm up there and then grab a single leg at a time instead of trying to wrestle with both. So that's both legs off, and then we don't need to clear the holes because these are all going to go to ceramics. So I'll even pre-fill them with some solder ready to blob the ceramics on. Oh yeah, the JBC stuff is all sponsored. So I've got a nice collection here now. See, I've got this is my favourite one. This is the first one that they gave me, a JBC Iron 500. This never fails. It just works all day and perfectly fine. I started with that. Everything was great on there. Then I've purchased these myself. I got a bit of a discount from them, but I purchased these for doing a job where we needed to remove and re-add a load of resistors. These are really good for doing things like 06, 03 resistors. But if you're going to be doing batch work, like when we did batch work, this ran out after doing, I think we got 20 or 30 boards at a time, swapping 2 resistors over. And then we had to leave it charged for, I think we left it to go fully charged. It took 40 minutes, I think it was. And then we did another 20 or 30 boards. So it's not perfect for batch work. If you're literally going to use this permanently, then no. But if you're grabbing this out, swapping a few resistors, putting it back in, which is mainly how you use the tweezers, they're also great. And then I've got 2 more irons down here. These are the nanos. These are wicked because they're, where's my camera? There. They're smaller, so quite a bit smaller than the BIM 500. So for holding it, you can see there's like a noticeable difference in size, very noticeable. So this is literally like holding a pencil. So great for, holding, but it doesn't last long. So it genuinely doesn't last long. You can't use it for like this kind of work. So you've got to use it sparingly. If you, I don't know, I think one of the main things I said is this is the perfect use case for it. Put the lid on so it's not used, chuck this in a toolbox or somewhere, and then if you're out and about or you need to solder on the car or you're doing something behind your TV like fitting LED lights, you just walk out with this, take that off, you've got a super powerful, perfect iron, do your work, put the lid back on. And then when you get home or you come back to your desk, you just basically put it on here to charge up. And that's how, this is where I'd say this iron would shine, is the portability. I'd treat this as like a backup iron that you keep in, your case in a sense to do the odd jobs. I'm just checking as well. It should normally come on when you just take the lid off. Wondering if there's a way to wake it up. If not, because yeah, that's another thing, because it's not. Yeah, I'd have to look into that. Unless these might have been turned off by my software. Let's put them in the charge dock, wake them up. And let me just check. Let me get this other one that's currently off. And if I take the lid off, yeah, they come on there. I think it was just either they've gone into deep hibernation because they've sat there for a while, or the software I've written for these turns them off. So maybe they were turned off. So yeah, you just take the lid off. They come on. You're ready to solder. Put the lid back on. Put it back in your case. So that's the use case. But yeah, this iron literally is my everyday iron. Now I use it for absolutely everything, and there's nothing it can't do. Right, so we were just cutting caps out basically. So that's what we've got to do here. And I don't think many of these you can get under with snips. So it's going to be mostly grabbing, doing a little twist, and then a lift up. And that one's actually, that's why it's kind of glued. That one's come off clean. And this now, you can, obviously the legs will still be in the board, so you can still warm up with solder, grab the leg and take it out. Oh yeah, once you go to the battery power ones, it's I don't want to go back to a one with, oh, that leg's gone underneath enough now, it doesn't matter. You don't want to go back to having a cable attached, because what you find yourself doing is, oh, I can't get in this area here, I'll just use this hand, and you just swap hands to get in, say, that connection, and then swap back to this. So, and then like you say, it's not another wire hanging over your desk as you're working. The overlay works yet, it's just the code isn't the best yet. I need to improve it. So if I open this up, let me show you the software, because see how many irons I've got and messed around with, and the Bluetooth code I've written here, I've reverse engineered the official app to figure out how it works, but you can see this is a bit buggy, and it knocks off my mouse half the time, my Bluetooth mouse. So I need to improve the way this this Bluetooth is connected. I think it'll be Iron, I think is my one. So let's see if I can get it up and running at least to just show you on stream, but I've turned it off for now until I improve the code a little bit. Yeah, see, it's just a bit glitchy. Once it connects, it seems to be stable, but it's obviously not quite right because it, like I say, it keeps. There we go. I think this is going to be Zach's iron, not mine. But I can show you it working now. The discounts, yeah, they mentioned on discounts. It's not something they currently do, but it's not out the question for future. I did ask them for that. They're just not like, it's not a business model they've ever had, so it's not something they can just do rapidly. You know, with them being a large company as well, changes like that take time. Yeah, this is not gonna connect. Let me see if my web interface one works. Or if not, let me restart the whole thing. Restart backend, quit app, starting back up. But yeah, this is why I've kept it off stream for now, because oh, there we go, it's connected as soon as I've restarted, but is it going to actually, yeah, there we go. So will this now show up? Well, it was working. It's working for me on screen, but that isn't working. Refresh again. Oh, no, it's lost. Yeah, it's just glitchy as it does not want to. I need to improve the code, so that'll be back on stream when I've had a chance to figure out why it doesn't want to work correctly. Basically, it's just some issues in the code on the Bluetooth stack, and it's like I say, it's because it's not publicly documented. I've had to just use the built-in, like their own app, and look at the disassembly code to figure out how it works. Right, so let's carry on just pulling these off. Oh, that was a delayed load of things coming through. Has that gone back to the old? No, that's the chat's randomly reset back to the old as well. So I might have missed some chat. If you've messaged and it's not showing up, just try again. I think it did that on the last stream. The chat didn't show well. Oop. Should probably be doing this maybe on my other mat as well, so I don't burn the JBC mat underneath. And the good thing with the Neo Geo is you don't need to remember all the caps because they're all written on. So like every size is written on the board, so you can just take them all off in one go, and then put them all back on in another go. I think what works best with them as well is twist them once or twice and then kind of mainly you want to tilt them out the way and pull. It's as if like the leaning out the way drags one of the electrodes out of the shell. So like twist a little bit just to free it and then pull. So like I can get that on. There we go. I'm kind of twisting this way. No, it's already come out. Try and get that. Probably easier on this one to show. So I can zoom in. Will this show, or is it gonna? Is that wow? Is that the focus of this camera? Should have stayed with black magic. Jeez, that's terrible. Okay, this camera's no good for. Oh, mind you, I think it's because I've made it physically closer to my desk. I think that's why it wasn't closer to my desk, because the focus distance. Maybe there we go. That's why it was further away. No, this isn't leaking. This is anti-vibration sap by the looks of it to stop these shaking around, so it keeps them firm in place. Right. So what I do with these is twist it off to free it from that glue effectively, and then twist like this. So tilt sideways, and then tilt back, and then what it's doing is, see that one that's pulling out already. So you can see it starts to pull that one out of the canister. That's what seems to work best for me anyway for twisting it off. And then you're only dealing with one of them then. But I rarely twist these off ever. It's not something I usually do. I mainly hot air them. It's just, if you're not super confident with hot air, you're almost definitely gonna melt this without noticing when you come to take this off. This will melt internally when you come to take this off. These will melt, especially this thing, when you come to take these off. So I just know from experience when I started working on these, plus what others do, is the chances of melting stuff on the Neo Geo when doing the recap is high. So I wouldn't recommend hot air on these unless you're very confident. But like I say, I've done enough that I would personally normally just hot air them off, but I figured I'd show you this way anyway. So this is your safer way. Two more up here. And to be honest, most of the caps are in this area, so we're doing tons of caps here, but once we've got out of this area, there's only like 4 caps left. You feel like you're going to be on it forever, but they're all in one place pretty much, so this is majority of all the caps. And that's all the stalks. Now we've got 4 more here. It's like pulling teeth. There we go. Yeah, I never thought of that actually. Yeah, you don't get any of the cap smell whatsoever. I think when you're doing, like, a lot of it is, like, a lot of these jobs are recapping. It's also nice to just mess around and do different techniques, because otherwise you just get a bit bored of doing the exact same way of taking caps off. I like to just, you know, experiment with different ways. Plus, it can be just whatever you're in the mood for. Some days I fancy hot airing, other days I fancy soldering. As long as you get the job done, it doesn't really matter. Like, I'll probably put these back on with the micro hot air, maybe. Give that one a go. We haven't used like the micro hot air in a while, so I'll probably have a go at hot airing them back on, even though it's much quicker to use the iron. We'll see. I'll have a go of it, and then if I feel like it's just taking too much time, we'll just iron them on. Right, that's them four. So yeah, I think there's normally a sneaky one here. Yeah, there. I was about to say, there's always one around this area. I never notice. And it helps as well when you're gripping. Don't actually grip with these tight if you can help it. So see how it's like crush the can a bit, but you want to grip just enough that you've got hold of it. But if you grip tighter, it's going to obviously crush these further in. So when I'm gripping, I'm trying to be as light as possible on the grip while twisting, but it is only aluminium, so it is going to, you know, crumple in, but just try and keep your grip as light as possible. That's how you'll get these out better. There's one exception to this as well. Really, there's only one. Is well, you probably can tweeze this one out, but this one I'd say is where I'd probably desolder pump this out. So I wouldn't try and grip and twist this big thing out. So what we'll do for this one is go to the other side here, flood this with leaded solder to bring down the melting temp. Bear in mind, this is a big cap and a big plane, so you can leave your iron on this for a while. I'll get my desolder pump and then just go over the oil. Oh, this is the fake one. Let me get the decent one. My engineer, let's try that again. You can go over there with solder, and you could also probably preheat this with a bit of hot air if we struggle. So there you go. Now just use the decent engineer desolder pump. Weight on that, and then desolder pump, and then that now might have to maybe. Don't know, that wants a little bit more desolder pump on that side. Yes, it does. See that one with the, see how there's no copper this side, it's the other side of the board. This one I'll probably give it a bit of help first with preheat, just straight on it, and then we will put some fresh solder back on and desolder pump it again. I mean, to be honest, you can probably just warm, that one's basically out now, so I could probably just warm this up and drop it through. This side is further away from plastic, whereas this side is, there's the power switch, so we can probably just hot air this side and it'll fall through, because the other side's, like I say, free. So that's that pin is free. Just a bit of heat. Oh, I missed that one, don't I? It was a follow or a sub or a like, but thanks for that. Just the time I looked up, it disappeared. That's probably got enough preheat now. So we'll go back on with the solder. And the solder pump. There we go. And now we should have that fall out. There we go. So that's now the big cap out. So that's how I'd get that out. I wouldn't try and pull them legs out, because I'm going to guess if we tried to do that, it would be, these would probably be very firm at a guess. Oh no, to be honest, they come out just as easy. There's all the lovely cap juice. So that's the electrolyte. This is what leaks on your board and corrodes the traces. So this is what, effectively over time, this fluid just leaks out of these holes. And let me put this on there. We don't want it dripping on my desk. But based on how they feel, let's get that out of the way. Oh, I don't know. They are. No, yeah, I'd probably do it that way. That felt a bit hard to get out. So I'm just trying to gauge how difficult this would be to twist off. Yeah, I think due to the angle, that would be hard to twist out. I think you should really do what we did on this one, which is to desolder that one. But yeah, that's where the fluid leaks out of caps, this fluid here, and then this eventually over, months or years, rots and corrodes your board. So that's why, pretty much why you do the recap in the first place, is to stop that happening on the board. But I don't think there's any, there's no real cap damage on this board anywhere so far that I've seen. They're all pretty healthy in terms of at least not leaking. They probably haven't got the best values, but they haven't leaked anywhere. Barely get me grippers around this one. Might have to cut as well. Might have to get this around. This is a better tool. There we go. So these are actually way better. I don't even know what these tools are. I got them for something, but I genuinely don't know what I brought them for. Can't remember. They've got like a little opening in the top there. But I just use them for typically gripping over stuff, but I genuinely can't remember what they were for. I think they may be cable pullers, like if you want to pull the insulation off thicker cable, maybe that's what they were for, but I just use them as general grippers. VA1 Game Gear, try and get it working after 5%, or boots to red light, get screen flash, but nothing else, audio static. If you haven't got audio, don't even bother thinking about the screen yet, just try and get audio. If it's booting to red light and no audio, then I suppose it depends what the screen shows. You're saying it flashes and then nothing else. What flashes exactly? Is it the backlight? Is it... What I'd do is... where's the other caps? Take these off first. Oh, there's one there as well. I would put the screen on anyway for the sake of it. Don't put a game in. And what you want to do is turn the console on. Without a game in, you'd either get just black screen, or you'd get potentially a solid coloured screen, like say blue or pink or green. If you get basically if you get a solid colour screen, then it's normally the Z80. It could obviously be everything. It could be the data pins, the address pins, the ASICs. Literally, you're at the point of on the wiki where it says getting reading game cart is the page you'd want to go on. But if you get it where with games in you get random coloured screens, just solid colour screens, so like a solid blue, solid pink, that's usually the Z80. So the small chip second in from the left, so to the right of the cartridge port. But it can be, bad cartridge port, bad pins, bad ASIC, bad work RAM. It's literally the point where it's trying to load a game and it could be anything. But generally don't think about the screen so much until you get audio. Just use it as a potential hint at what's wrong if you do happen to see stuff on screen. It's a bonus, but if you don't even try diagnosing the screen till you get audio. Right, that's them out. We have now, zoom that out a bit. We have now, we have 2 What do we have? Oh, you know when I said that we were nearly done? I'm sure this version's got more caps than I've ever known. There's a whole load up here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 more caps. Wow. So let's get these 10 out. Yeah, this tool's better. My little tool that's not meant for this job is perfect for taking caps off. Yeah, so you've got the this revision. Oh, this is a 3.3, this one. You rarely see 3.3, to be honest. I work a lot on the 3.4s, the 3.5s, the 3.6s. 3.3s are a lot rarer. Well, at least for me, anyway. Take all the bits. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting we got the aircon in here. There's my tweezers. I've got another guy coming for that aircon today or tomorrow. Like our one. Yeah, because he's just, the other guys wants 650 quid, just fill it back with gas and UV dye, whereas this other guy's going to check the unit properly outside and look for leaks and do the dye for a lot cheaper. So I'm just going to hopefully find the leak in the, instead of having to swap them all completely. Otherwise we'll end up with all the bloody pipes on the outside of the house if we have to replace it, because they're running under the floorboards and under the concrete, aren't they? So just hope it isn't a leak on the actual you know, on the pipes inside, otherwise it's going to be messy. That connection I took my time on, because you'll notice it's the main ground plane all around here, so this took a while to heat up, otherwise you could pull traces. This is like a, obviously I know what this is for, this is to stop the caps vibrating, but this is like almost a tree sap. Probably is, it's probably some kind of glue sap this is. Like what they used back in the day. Now it's they just use anti-vibration silicon now, I think it is, for when you want to stop the caps shaking around. Neopass. No, to be honest, I've not heard of the Neopass, not that I can remember. What is that? I may have and just forgot, but it doesn't ring a bell. I've worked on a lot. I've probably done, I bet I've done 200 Neo Geos. I've had like 7 myself personally, and I've still got 2 or 3. trying to deafen us. Did I do something with the audio? I know I'm scratching my nose a lot. Am I doing that and rubbing? Oh yeah, when I'm doing that, rubbing my nose. It's because it's pinned to my collar. I could maybe move it out of the way. But, well, yeah, let me try moving this somewhere slightly different. Maybe up there. Can I scratch my nose now without the noise? Yeah, I think that's fixed it. RGB bias plug that may. Oh no, I wouldn't have done. Well, I say I wouldn't have done one myself. But we obviously make the clean RGB ourselves, so it's mods I install and fit. I actually made the first RGB mod for the Neo Geo that didn't destroy the composite, and then it went on the wiki. So every other mod was destroying the composite. So I do a lot of RGB stuff. So we have our own range of products called the Clean RGB. That's what this cable is. There's whole articles on the wiki about how and why I've made it all, and we do internal mods for most consoles for Clean RGB, and it is the only one that's correct, basically. Every other mod out there, they put the stuff in the cables, not in the consoles, and they change the voltage levels by putting the wrong value resistors inside the cables. So then that messes up the low pass filters of the circuits. It'll work, and obviously people have done it for years, and you probably can't visually see the difference so much as I know it's wrong, basically. I know it shouldn't work that way. So yeah, I've never seen one though, and I wouldn't know what it is. If it's maybe a board with it written on or something, I'd have spotted it, but I haven't worked on one. Whereas if it's just like a mod that somebody says to do, then it's probably obviously not much. I've probably worked on them if it's just random mods, because I see all the time people messing with the RGB, changing these, bridging these or not, cutting pins, all different things, but I just revert it all and do it my way, basically. Oh yeah, I don't think they haven't paid for Clean RGB on any of these, so we're not going to get to see the nice differences, but I pointed out how dark this is on screen, but they obviously haven't opted for the Clean RGB for some reason. Your order, it's being packed as we speak, but ironically, I've run out of bubble wrap because you've got that much stuff going in it. So that will go. It's being packed literally right now, but it'll probably be collected tomorrow. So you'll get it. It'll be DHL, and you'll get it either Saturday or Monday. It kind of says how big the parcel is when we've run out of bubble wrap. Oh yeah, the flash. See, I'm tempted to make. Well, I will make flashcards at some point as well, for the consoles. Right, I think we've finally got all the caps off. I think that was a boring job. Neo Geo SCART RGB. Yeah, I can just let me just message Packers, tell them chuck one in. Excuse me. My headache's getting a little bit better though, but I'm still. I'm going to be rough all day, I think. Oh my god, I think they might be up here now. 1 sec. You know the order you're packing that we haven't got the bubble wrap for, the big one? Just chuck a Neo Geo Clean RGB cable in as well. You know, the ones that are they in Frosties, them ones? Or I think, yeah, that one. Yeah, just chuck one of them in. Yeah. Sorted. That was a good look on it. Oh yeah, when I move, there's the headache. Whoa. Doesn't need Clean RGB to work. No, it doesn't. It'll just be darker. It'll be what you've just. Well, I don't know that you saw it on screen at the start, but it'll just be darker, and then you can just do the resistor changes. Change the resistors based on the wiki, and bridge the capacitors as well to remove the DC offset. I think, but start with and without the bridge on the caps. I can't remember. Yeah, Nurofen, I've had this, like I say, it's the first headache I've had in 6 months. That'll teach me for eating unhealthy for days. I forgot all about the TikTok comments again as well. So Aganda. For the Super Famicom shell swap, we don't normally, because they're so bad quality. We just don't work on them because they take so much work. Things don't fit right. So we need to put a foot down at some point, because every time we accept anything non-standard, it never works out. The customer won't be happy with the shell or the quality and all stuff like that. So I'd recommend you shelled it yourself, basically, because they're not good quality at the minute. What tips you use on lifting? What tips would you use on lifting pins on SMD chips? I can show you. So, where are we? Where's my cameras? There we go. Let's say, I don't know, something like this. Get yourself a pair of tweezers. So something like these. Don't get these ones though; these are flat. But you get the idea. Just tweezers. I've got, for example, don't know why I've gone on the zoomed in one first. This is my special tool. Just some random tweezers that came like this. I grabbed them, bent them, snapped them. So I've got 2 pieces now. One I keep as a straight pick, so just exactly as it is, for different purposes. The other one I bend the tip, so you can see that's got a bend on. So we're going to use this then, just a fine bent tweezer tip. Go onto here. Oh, it's nosy with itchy again. Then get some flux, go on the pins, put a bit of solder down. So we'll just put a bit of leaded solder on. Like that. We'll pick a random pin, and all we're going to do is we're going to get this tool in. So see how it's got its bend there? I want to get that behind the leg. So see how it goes behind easily? And I can turn this way, and now it's trying to lift already. So you want to get that position right. You're basically going into the pin behind it and then twisting like this. And what it's going to do is try and lever up the pin. So I don't know how much you're going to see. This is where you could do with like this angle. This is why I kind of want the whole really close up desk angle thing. So you're probably going to see, I know it's going to be a bit blurry, but will you see if I do it from this angle? Or is my hand going in the way? Nah, it's shit quality. This is another Blackmagic camera time. Can I do that maybe? Let's try making my working position awkward, but let's see. That's got a bit of angle to it. So from there, we can now say pick this pin, get under it, and I'm applying pressure like that. So twisting, see how it's trying to twist? It's already come off anyway without warming it. That's how old the solder is, but you'd get your iron in there, warm, and then twist. So twist, and now see how it's just come through? So my tweezers are underneath that, so I can lift that up more, but I'm not going to lift it up anymore for now because you don't want to bend the legs too much. But can I get that so you can actually see it? Of course not, because this top-down camera doesn't focus. There, you're just about seeing. So see the leg there? That's the one we've lifted. It's completely free of the pad. So it's hard to show without a camera from an angle, but basically the idea is you're putting this tool in, getting behind the leg, and you're bending. But just bear in mind, you'll notice when I did it, that's stuck in. If you go too far in, like back there, as you twist around, the tip of this ends up catching the tip of the next leg. So as I was going around here, I was catching the next leg, so I pulled backwards a bit. So you want it just resting in, and it kind of uses the pin to the left of it as a lever, like that. And then this, you just apply a gentle force like that, and you just warm up the solder first, no rush, wait a bit, and then twist like that. And now that's completely lifted up. with no damage to the legs. And then obviously I'll push that back down and just solder this back down because we don't want to lift these legs up. I've got no depth perception. Where the hell is it there? That's the one that's lifted in the air. So there we go. And I'll probably just blob a bit of extra solder on them now. So they got plenty on. There we go, and that one. There, but that's yeah, that's how you do it. Normally that would be saved for the subs only streams when I teach you how to do stuff, but oh god, this nose is itching off. Right then, it's just the recap now, isn't it? Like putting the caps back on. Yeah, I went to the dentist yesterday, have a filling, and they literally do use these. So these dental picks that I brought for what I use, this is another thing you could use as well. You can get the dental pick behind and pull forward. But yeah, I was laughing when I saw them with these. I'm like, yeah, I use them for my work. But they were probing my mouth with them. Right then, so now for the recap. So this is where I said I was going to use the micro hot air, wasn't I? Let's see how much I can be bothered to do that. So this is 100, you see there, 100 microfarad. So what I'd do, I'll show you what I'd do with that. The sensible way, the quick way, is flood it with solder like that, and then get these. Just a mod. Do we need the DC offset as well? No, it depends on the revision of Neo Geo. The resistors will get you the right voltage, and then they're not DC. I don't think the DC offset, but that's where whether you bridge these resistors, these caps or not. So the caps that are right by these, you can just see where they go to. So whichever resistors you change, they'll go to these, but you can bridge any of them. It's RGB, C-Sync, composite, and one's audio. None of them will matter, but you can follow them from the port at the back. You can kind of see. So say I think this one's maybe red, is it? Goes down to this resistor, over to this cap. So this cap here would be, say, red, so you'd bridge that, and then you'd do the same. Look on the wiki for the pinouts. This is C-Sync, isn't it, I think? So they'd follow that one round. That'd go down to here, over to here, around to here. So this is C-Sync cap, so you'd bridge him. You get the idea, basically. You just blob some solder over the bottom of these if it doesn't work, but don't do that to start with. If it works fine with the caps on, leave them unbridged, because some revisions, I believe if you bridge the caps, you won't get video out. It'll make it worse, not better. I just can't remember which one's which. So on, where's the one we've just blobbed? This one. So this one here, if I was going to just do this nice and fast, I'd get my SMD caps, and I would get them on here, and all I'd do is come in at the side with the hot air to melt both pins at once, and kind of slide the cap in, like so. And all you're doing is warming both pins up at once, and that's now nicely flown on. But what I said I was going to do is try with the hot air, like the micro hot air, just because I haven't used it in a while. So let's maybe do that. Oh yeah, the CD32 caps, they are, in fact, that smell, that smells like hot glue. But why is it dirty colour? I thought that was like a tree sap or a resin, but it does just smell like hot glue. The CD32 caps should be probably 3 weeks away, I'd say. But, you know, ironically, the price of SMD caps at the minute is going through the roof. So right after I've just brought all them caps, luckily, all them cap kits, now I'm ordering more, the price has quadrupled. So it's gone up 4 times on ceramics at the minute. Only ceramics, not aluminiums. So something about the MLCC caps is making the market surge. You know what it's going to be, don't you? It's probably AI. But AI is taking all the bloody the large ceramic caps for all of the usual stuff. So yeah, my cap kits at the minute are costing me a fortune. So I'm trying to not order too many. But I've ordered the 32. CD32 ones. Right, so this one, instead of doing soldering iron, let's go and try micro hot air. Nice and close. And then now that's molten. Plonk the cap in. And go on, you bond down. There we go. Yeah, not sure I like that. The only problem is when you're using the when you're using hot air to put caps down, but you're not putting them down on true SMD pads. So these aren't SMD pads, they're obviously through-hole pins. They don't naturally align properly, so it kind of annoys me that you have to push them into place. Oh yeah, I didn't think the prices were that bad until I actually saw things that you had to buy. Like when people kept saying, oh yeah, the prices of RAM and all this are going up, and I just never really took any notice. And then when I come to buy some upgrades, I was like, oh, you're not joking. It's literally something that cost £120 for the last 5 years is all of a sudden now £400 for the exact same thing. Flux, yeah, flux would help a little bit for the solder joints to connect, but what will happen is the solder will fall through the board, through hole holes, and this would float up in the air. So I'll show you that in the next one. Do one more, and then I can see me using an iron on this. So this one is a 10. And we put some flux on. Try this once more. What I'm expecting to see is these solder balls are going to shrink and disappear underneath. This will connect to them, but it will then sit floating too high up and the solder will flow underneath. That's my prediction. So we'll let them get molten first, bring this in, and bound on one, grab on the other. It's not even, oh, this is that heavy pad. That's the really heavy ground pad, of course. So this one might be ironically better to do with an iron, just because it's got that really heavy ground pad. We're going to end up just having the board struggle for the hot air is going to do damage to the board basically on this one, I think. So we're best putting this one down with the iron first. Wow, that is a really heavy ground pad. Oh yeah, the memory on Apple's normally more expensive anyway, isn't it? That's they've always been ridiculous for memory, even when there wasn't a problem. Done this with just yeah. You mean with hot air? You've done it. We'll try it on this next one. The way I'd do it, the way I'd normally do this is solder one pad like that. Get the cap. Probably seen this many times. Grab it, molten that pad, slide it in like so to get your position, and then blob solder on the other pad. That's kind of that's your standard and easy way to do the recap. But with them being so close together, you can also just put solder on both pads at the same time, and then warm them up at the same time and slide the cap in. So where's another one? Let's go to, these are all hundreds. So let's try the hot air again on this. Now these aren't heavy ground planes. Bit of flux. And let's see if this goes on without sinking into the board or not. So we'll get the micro hot air. And some flux on this. You don't want these to molten like fully because the cap will be cold when you put it on, but you want to start with a bit of warming on the board, and then once it's a bit warm, bring the cap over and it'll equalize a bit. I guess that's got both pins. Yeah, and it's so it's not too bad, but I think the micro hot air is better at taking them off cleanly. I think when we're putting them on, flooding the whole area with hot air is nicer, but we're right by this connector here as well, so I'll drop back to soldering iron for these ones, get these chucked on. So yeah, this is the other way of doing them. Just fill both pins with solder. It's a little bit trickier, but you have to warm the solder up from both sides, and then you basically just putting your iron over the side and sliding this in and making this look a lot more awkward than it needed to be there. But that's the quick way of doing them. But the easier way is to just do one side at a time. So like there, solder blob on there, warm up that side and make sure that's on and sets. That's now solid. And then put your solder on this side. Perfect example where I can just swap hands. But see how on this way, that's why I prefer to just do both sides, because it's not caught still. Oh, where have I chucked in? There we go. I don't know which way I prefer now, to be honest. I think because these pins are so close together as well. They're not normally this close together on through hole caps. You normally have a bit more room to work. It's making this a bit more awkward. There we go, so he's on. And then warm up both sides. And let him pull in. Yeah, so to be honest, I think I prefer the hot air in this case, just because these being smaller and close together pads, that is quite a bit of a pain. Like that should be a 2-second job to do that with an iron, and that's quite a lot of messing around to get the position on. Just gonna melt this glue off first. So just got to be careful. We've got plastic right here, which I could do without melting. It'll only be cosmetic, but let's get this glue off if I can. Yeah, they'll be 90% ceramic, more so than the Amiga 500. The only time you can't really use ceramic is when you need 50 volt. Well, it's one of them things you could have. You can do full ceramic on all the Amigas, but the original Amigas put, for example, the 22 microfarad caps, they spec them at 50 volts, and there's no real reason to, because the input's 12 volts. So 35 volt is perfectly fine, and you can get 35 volt ceramics, and that's why I use them. But I figured when selling the cap kit, I know how much people they don't necessarily know that you know what you're doing. So if they see, oh, take off a 22 microfarad cap that's 50 volts and huge and replace it with a tiny one like this that's 35 volts, they're going to question if it's right or not. I can just see it being a problem more so with perception, that people will think you can't swap the voltage and go lower. Whereas on the Amigas, they only put it as a higher voltage just simply because that's the stock they had at the time and there's no issues with it. There's no reason not to uprate the voltage. So you can perfectly fine replace every single one with ceramics, but for the main cap kits for, you know, the general public, I've made some decisions where I won't downrate the voltage on the ceramic sides for any of them, just to play it safe. So, you know, you don't want people feeling like it's not going to work or it's wrong, especially with, you know, how people are on the retro scene and already about ceramics because they don't like the fact that the most popular kit on the market is our Game Gear ceramic cap kit that they tried to push for years, didn't work, and now it clearly does. So give people any reason to make out your kits are wrong or are going to do damage, and you're going to get people spreading false information. So it just wasn't worth it for providing some of the caps as aluminium. So for the 500, there's quite a few through holes just for that reason. But the CD32, luckily, because on that version they didn't use the wrong stock, they used 35 volt. It's nearly all ceramics. But when I do them, you've seen me do them for years. I'll put ceramics on where they suit because I know they're fine. I know what I'm doing. It's just the ones I'm selling to the public, I want to make sure, like I say, we don't give anyone a reason to worry about replacing aluminium with ceramics. Reverse engineering, yeah, I've done that as long as I've done software. It's one of the first things I started with. So yeah, I've done that for decades. Don't do it so much. Well, yeah, I still do it on and off with most things. The PS3 I jailbroke when it came out, at the same time as everybody else did. Made a little USB dongle, but right before I was going to release it, everyone was getting sued by Sony. So I don't intend to do much of it on the like the illegal side of stuff. It's more so learning things or figuring stuff out. It's all part of kind of repair as well. You're doing that naturally when you're figuring things out, but it depends how far you go in it. And look how nice that looks instead of them big ceramic, big aluminium caps. That looks way nicer. Oh yeah, the 600. Let me have a look at the caps on the 600 now. Let me see how many of them are ceramics in that cap kit. Documents, cap kits, Amiga 600. Yeah, so you've got in the Amiga 600, they're all ceramics except the ones that wouldn't be anyway, which is the 470 and the 1000. So everything else is ceramics. That's pretty much a full ceramic kit. The CD32 is, again, full ceramics. Every single one's ceramics except for the 470 and the 1000. So the only one that's, like I say, the only one that's annoying is the fact that the Amiga 500 in the schematics uprated it to 50 volts. So there's quite a few. I'm looking at the wrong note. Let me double check that actually. I'm looking at my other note, not whether the factory could get the cap kits in those values. Let me see. Yeah, so there's 4 in the Amiga 600. There's 4 100 microfarads, 2 47s, and then the 2 larger ones I mentioned. So it's 10 of them are ceramics and 4 or 5 of them aren't. The 500, unfortunately, is pretty much all ceramics because they decided to make everything 50 volt. The Amiga CD32 is what I said. Everything is ceramic except 2. So the 600's like closer to ceramics. The 32 is fully ceramic, and the 500 is hardly ceramic. Even though, like I say, you could perfectly use ceramics on the 500. Reverse engineering Game Boy games, yeah, I do that as well. We're doing that on, obviously, that RoboPan, is it, at the minute, trying to do game translations and stuff. Right, where are we up to? Just putting a few of these on. Done all that side. So we have here, we've got one. Have you done the recap on that one? Yeah. Do you want maybe finish the chucking the caps on this, and I'll do the clean RGB on that? Because basically this one's just a recap and it's done. So there's only them left now. Like that. Well, I'll say only them. That side of the board. So you've got that, them. So all.
Just taking them all off.
They're all off.
Yeah.
So just ceramics on all them, and then that one will just be. Oh, them two in it. Them two here, 470 and 1000, and they're just all ceramics, and then they're all done at the top. Right, so this one wants now. So we'll instead of just carrying on with all that recapping, let's jump back onto this one now. So this one's been recapped. So we've got all the nice ceramics, and then the large ones are the aluminiums. So this one, probably missed chat as well. I didn't read the last few chats, by the way. If you wanted to ask again, if you asked any questions I missed. We now need. This is going to be fun. Wherever put them. Do you know where the Neo Geo clean lights are? You know, when I said we'll move them and I'll forget what I've done with them. Here on the shelf. I don't think these were even programmed, are they? I've got to go do them prints, actually, I forgot. I'm going to do that first. Yeah, we'll get through this maybe, see if I can do this quick enough. Where's the wiki? SNK Neo Geo Clean Light RGB. There we go. Oh yeah, Neo Geo Pocket Color. Nobody makes them. I've made the D-Hum and the Clean Amp for it, and then we haven't bothered making any more just because it's just not popular. Like, we just never really sold much. But I think the announcement of the new one has made this. It's made it a bit more popular now. I've had a few requests recently for mods for it. Right, so we've got the install guide there. I don't know why I've made that so big. Can do that. And get that zoomed in. What this is a little ring light that goes over the power button, the reset button, sorry. Sits over there, and when the semi-translucent reset button sits over that, you get a nice glow effect, as you can see in that picture there. So that's what this mod is. And this is I made basically just a Raspberry Pi Pico for the most part, our own little board with some level shifters here. So this was going to be like a universal, useful little mod board where you can have 5 volts in here, you can have 3.3 volts here, you can program it. I'll put an LED board on there to do it. Basically, the idea of this was to be used for more products, but at the minute this is only used for the Neo Geo Clean Light. So we want to stick this ring light on here first. Make sure we put it on the in, because if you actually turn this around and plug it on this way into the out port and plug that into this, it'll dead short. It won't kill it, I don't think. but it'll just short the board out. So make sure you put the in on the in. Metal Slug's my favourite game on the Neo Geo, but to be honest, I've got Neo Geo Pockets. I think they're all in bits though. I think when we were doing them, I've pretty much gutted ours for parts, so I bet I haven't even got one fully working. So this is some double-sided tape that comes with it. I've peeled off that bit, using this to just help align it. Stick that over like that, push down, and then peel off the backing. He says that didn't work very well. There we go, finally peeled it. So that'll now peel off. And there's the sticky double-sided tape. And then make sure the in is facing this way. Stick it over center. And that's that. Oh yeah, I thought this would be dead popular. So I've made these, I've sold about 10. Look at the tub I've got full of them. So this is literally the first batch I made. It's like 500 in here, and you can't even tell we've sold any. Partly because I don't really advertise it, so people don't even know it exists. But what we were doing is gluing LEDs around here and soldering them in, and then it was one colour. Whereas this now can be any colour you want, and you can program it yourself if you know how to program Raspberry Pis. So I thought this would be really popular because it's like such a nice thing as well that you can see it. But yeah, we don't sell none of them now. Oh yeah, I defo am. So, well, I didn't even list the Mega Drive clean RGB for. It's been out for like 2 months now. I forgot to even list it. But you'll see this run. Well, actually, we don't need to plug that in for now. I'm going to stick the actual board here. Now, I'm going to put it there so I can plug a USB cable in here. And I'm going to make sure it's out the way of this cap, so that if I want to get my cable in to program it, I want to make sure I've got enough room. So it wants to sit hanging over here, basically. That's where I'm going to fit it. Yeah, the cut traces, you don't have to cut the traces. You can just, the only reason you cut the traces is so that when you hold this, you change colours. What you can do is just use your tweezers to set a mode, like, you know, shorting out, say, this. I don't know what pin it'll be. I think it'll be like this and this or something, but you could basically set it up and have a button. You could solder a different button if you want to hold to change the colour. You literally don't need to cut traces if you don't want it. It's just that you can hold the reset button to change the colour, then that's the benefit of it. I should probably add that to the guide, that you could literally, you know, there's a way to do it where you don't want to cut traces and you're not really bothered, you're going to set it up as a certain colour, or you're going to move a switch somewhere else, then you can do it that way. But it's like the SNES, the in-game reset thing, or the frequency switch thing, where what you're doing is cutting one pin from the reset and passing it through the Raspberry Pi, so that the Raspberry Pi is in control of whether we reset or whether we use it as an input. Right, that's on there. I'm probably best programming this first, because I'm pretty sure this is not going to be programmed. Right, so hold, move that out of the way. Hold the button down, plug him in, and go to Engineers, Neo Geo AES. Nope, not there. Oh no, it's in my folder, isn't it? Neo Geo AES Clean Light, releases version 1, copy, paste. There we go, he's alive. So that's all programmed. Oh yeah, the UniBIOS of I think we've had the factory program them for us now, because we sell that many of them that we were programming all of them in-house. And then by the time we ended up programming Dreamcast BIOSes, Jaguar BIOSes, Mega CD BIOSes, Neo Geo, it got annoying, so we just ordered them in bulk now, and the factory programmed them for us, so it's nice to just pick them off the shelf now. Right, let's have a look at this install guide. Installation, install clean lights, identical, blah, blah, blah. Right, I can probably just look at my own guide than read much. Let's flip over the board first. So where are we? Reset button. We're around this area here. Let's pull up the PC. Zoom in a bit. There we go. So this side, we're around here roughly. Now, if it doesn't match exactly, it doesn't matter, because this is ultimately the reset button here. It's just 2 pins. And on our photo, we're showing there. So see this pin and this pin. That's the reset button there. Whereas on ours, it's this pin and this pin, but it's obviously not the same because this is going somewhere else. 1 second, let me just grab this. Right, so I'll come to this in a sec. Just be back in 2 seconds, and then we'll carry on with this. I mean, to be honest as well, we can probably I'm thinking you can probably do this without cutting a trace anyway. What do? We lift. Trying to think what we actually do. 5 volts and ground go to that, which is fine. Reset in, reset out. So one's reset button and one's out. So the out's going back to the button. And the original button, for the GBA, what's the order number? I'll double check and put a note on. One button is ground. I think that was ground. I've just tested this. I forgot already. Yeah, ground. So on this specific version, you wouldn't have to cut traces, because what you do is this is the trace you'd have to cut. Instead, you could lift this out. 56506. Let me do that in a sec. So you'd have to take this chip out, take these 2 resistors out, and then the pin that goes that trace you saw, you'd have to rejoin these 2 resistors together to the floating pin of this, so that you've got all 3 legs floating, and then you don't have to cut traces. I might try it on this one. So let me just find that order number, and 56506. Yeah, I've put a note on already for me to stream that one, so I'll have a go at that when I'm back. Right, back in 2 seconds. And then we're back. Just grab myself a nice Red Bull to help with the headache. Right, so we should be able to do this then without cutting. Let me pull up the schematic and double check. Because at the minute on the schematic, on the install guide, we cut the trace just because it's easy, basically. It's much easier. And then we have to re-add the resistor. So that resistor is being added just because we're cutting a trace that removes it. So if we do it right, you don't even have to add the resistor either. And if that is really what's putting people off, then we could update the guide to not even need the resistor. So maybe it's worth it. Let's have a look. So let's find the reset button so I can remember exactly how this worked. Where is the reset button? Can't find the reset button. It's going to be the last place I look. Huh? Oh, I'm going to start now as a power switch. It's a schematic not got it in this remade one. It's got to have. Okay, can't find the reset button. There he is. Right, so let's have a look at this. Yeah, cool, we'll do it without. We can do it without. So what we do on here is, all we're doing is normally this reset trace. This is a voltage, a low voltage reset. So this little chip, which is this little thing by the reset button. See this little 3-pin thing here? This monitors for the input voltage dropping too low, and then it presses this button effectively. And that's by syncing this trace here. So there's the port resistor as well, the 10K. So this is going to drive it to ground if it detects that the voltage is too low. The reset button is going to sync it to ground if we press it. So what we want to do is intercept this trace here and send this into our system. Oh, I'm stupid. We can just remove one resistor. I didn't even notice there was an inline resistor. We can just remove this resistor. And, oh yeah, that's ridiculous. We just have to remove a resistor. Obviously didn't pay attention when I was doing this. Right, so there, just need to remove him. Much easier guide. No extra resistor, no trace cutting. Just literally remove that resistor and wire it in. That's easy then. Right, let's move that out of the way. See, it sometimes helps to I mean, you could even cut the resistor if you want, but let's just remove it. It's not really needed. It's just a current limit resistor for dead short, but you've already got a resistor further down, so literally no need to do anything. There we go. That's one out, and now we have an input and an output. Job's done. Come on, resistor. You're the only thing I've got to remove. Wow. Should have just cut him out. That's made a right mess. The simplest task of all. So there's no trace this side. So that looks like that's just where my tweezers have clipped the traces the other side. So we now have, well, I can have a look at the other side. I'm pretty sure, yeah, that trace is still intact. That's how not to remove a resistor, by the way. Just placed an order, added I'm not going to AES fuses, blah, blah, blah. Didn't come through with the last order. Last book, what? Is that my headache making that not make sense? I just placed an order and added a note, it should say, regarding 2 AES fuses for the MS2 clean power mod. What fuses are you after there? On the clean power, you just bridge them, or were you after? Did you want some single-use fuses or something? I'll have to probably clarify that one for me. Right, so ignoring the bodge job of removing that resistor, it's now these 2 pins. So this becomes the input because it's come off this trace. So this is the trace going over. And then this now doesn't join to here. So this is now the reset line for both the reset circuit and the button itself. And this is the output to the rest of the system. So now we've got an in and an out pin. So all we need to do is solder. Let's get the guide back up. We don't need to do any of that now. All that is irrelevant completely. And all we need to do is solder the reset. So this one wants to go to the top. This one wants to go to the bottom, and then ground and 5 volt. That's it. 4 wires. Ordered the clean power for the master system 2. Not taken out of pack yet, but you said last time I needed fuses for them to be installed on Geo AES. Oh no, you don't need fuses as such. You need to bridge them because the Neo Geo pulls more power. So all you need to do, master system 2. I don't know whether this is a master system 1 or 2, but same idea, same thing. This might be master system 1. Wherever you see the C, see the writing that says C, you're going to have LED resistor, and 2 small resistors. And then whatever's left, you'll have a big letter C. Just bridge this. So it's just because it won't be on the next version. Resettable fuses in this package are pretty bad because they act like inductors, and they also limit they cause voltage drop, and they limit the amount of current that can go through. So just whip that off. Flood it with solder basically. Lift it out of the way. And then you can either use a little resistor, a little wire, or you can just add plenty of solder and just make a ball. So just do that, and then it's fine to fit. And I'd recommend doing that regardless on the Master System and Mega Drive clean powers, because that fuse isn't needed. It just adds noise to the circuit. So there we go, and that'll be fine for chucking in a Neo Geo then. Do you have any others out, or was it just that? I think it was just that. Right, back to this then. So now this guide is way simpler now. So we just solder a wire. Yeah, this is miles easier. See, I don't even like doing these because I don't like having to think about what to do. But now it's like literally in, out. Don't even need that up anymore because that's I know exactly what to do now. Well, I say I don't. It's just for the 5 volt and ground points maybe. In and out, I'm going to use, what do you reckon, yellow in, orange out. So we'll put orange on the output. Yellow on the input. And then this can go yellow to there. Orange to there. Oh yeah, it's a lot of the problems you've had are definitely just the iron. As soon as I knew you were using that kind of iron, like I said, you can have all the skill in the world and that iron isn't going to work well. But the JBC one will 100% do you. Like that's the best iron you'll get, with the exception of using the genuine ones. And then these genuine ones, I think I wouldn't recommend them to people that can't solder it like proficiently yet anyway, because as you use these, you have to use these irons correctly as well. So every other iron will just pump the heat out, so it makes it easier to solder. But it makes it easier to make mistakes as well. But it's just generally easier to just use one that pumps out the heat. But if you want to, improve your skills, I'd definitely. I didn't do any damage there. It was just flakes of the resistor was just flaking apart. I'd recommend the JBC once you're proficient, like not a starting iron basically. And it's just, you appreciate things it does once you start using it. But it's a different way of soldering altogether than anything else I've done. Right, there's that. Tips I personally always use, well, the one you can see right now, which I don't even have on there. It's basically, let me clean the tip so you can see. I use a small chisel, so this is like a chisel tip basically. Whereas some people, the main preference with other people is they want this fine tip. This is the most common other tip, I'd say, because the feeling of going on these tips and not having a big iron end is what people think you need. But if you get confident, just use the chisel tip. Just like if you want to practice and get used to it, I'd use this. That's all I use for everything. Oh yeah, but the Maplins, well, that's literally where I got mine from originally. The Maplin ones, they are terrible. This mod is you're about to see it working in 2 more wires. It's a clean light mod for the Neo Geo. So I've got to find 5 volt and ground on it. Let me show you this. It's basically makes the power button light up, the reset button, and you can hold it and change all these color modes. So that's what we're just about to install. I need to now just find ground and 5 volts. So I think maybe this is ground and 5 volts. But let's see. There's that many revisions of Neo Geo. So ground is on the cartridge. I'm pretty sure that's going to be ground. Yep. And is this going to be 5 volts? Let me find out. That's the output. Yes, cool. So this big fat cap here for this specific version is ground and 5 volts. So this installs way cleaner than my official guide. You just got to bear in mind that every version of Neo Geo is different, but the principle is, if you were going to look at the schematic, which I've now closed, you want to look for the 47 ohm resistor, really, I suppose, is key. So I'll add this, I'll get this installed, then we'll do a photo off this video, and we'll put it on the wiki. And then when I come to do the next versions, I'll remember that and bear it in mind that obviously we don't need to cut traces, because like I say, I spent a lot of time making this mod, and then I've never sold any. Like literally probably sold 10, which is a shame because it's such a cool mod. Especially with how popular Neo Geo is. I'm surprised people don't pick this. Even when they actually there's a point. We don't sell that many Neo Geos built to order. Most people send theirs in to have the work done. So yeah, actually that still doesn't make sense, because you'd think they'd select it on the sending service. And again, most people don't select it on the sending service. So even if it wasn't the The soldering issue, I don't know. Need to just advertise it more. It's like I say, nobody else makes it, so they probably don't even know this mod or know it exists or know what it does. So I need a little army of subs going around selling my stuff for me. Commission-based sub sales. So I am far too lazy to be a salesman. I think I'll leave that wire going over the top of that yellow one. So that's the ground. Now the 5 volt. That can go to there, so looks all right. Can't believe how much easier this install is now. You watch, it won't work now I've done it this way, but I'm sure there's no reason this wouldn't work. As long as the schematic's right. Yeah, I should. That's the other thing I'm terrible at as well. Like sending services, design your own stuff, descriptions. It's just like I'd put all this work into making the mods, and then it just on the website just sending service. Would you like a clean light? And some people are like, I don't even know what it is, and it doesn't even say on the website what it is. Like I've got a bit better at some of them things, but yeah, I can genuinely have just listings on the product pages that tell people they can select the mod, and it doesn't even tell them anywhere in the world what it is. So unless they know me or are on the Discord, they wouldn't even know what they're buying. Like I say, I could stop making mods and just perfect being a salesman, but it's the biggest problem is that I got very little interest in sales. Like, yes, it's nice to be able to do a business and you need money to survive, but I don't find pleasure in the I've made a product, let's try and advertise it kind of thing. I get all my pleasure from making the mods. But then, like I say, I have mods sat on the shelf like this for probably a year now that cost me, I don't know, they probably cost me about £5 maybe to make, and I've got 500. So what's that, £2,500 or something? So not crazy amounts of money, but that's just £2,500 plus a week or more of my time to just sit on the shelf and not even make money back on. Like I probably got to sell, I don't know, 100 or more of them to even just not lose money on them. And I definitely haven't sold that many yet. Right, so that can be on there. But no, YouTubers, they don't really. Macho Nacho used to cover us until we had a load of random haters. Basically, a big problem we had at the start was we got massive and very popular and very well known, and we genuinely just took over so many people's business, like one-man band retro guys, and just a lot of, we disrupted the retro scene basically when I come about, because I didn't ask anybody for advice. I wasn't on socials whatsoever. Nobody knew who I was, and I just come from nowhere, made mods for everything, sold crap tons, like 5 times more than we sell now. Like the business was huge. It was turning over 2.2 million in the very first year of starting. That's how big it got. We disrupted every single major company out there, all the big players, retro modding, handheld legends, everyone that was about before us took over all their business. Like we were everywhere. And they basically just started like a hate campaign to say that I'm stealing people's stuff, because they couldn't realize how can one person just make all this and sell it and not, you know, I wasn't on any forum saying, oh, how do I do this? How does this work? Because I didn't need to be. That's what I enjoy doing. I like figuring out myself. So I can understand where it come from. Somebody comes about from nowhere, can make mods for every console going, and doesn't ask a question on any forum, but it's because I'm the one writing the wikis and stuff. I'm the one coming up with the knowledge. But yeah, we got tons of hate. Macho Nacho used to cover us, and then all the haters pretty much just threatened to, oh, we won't support you if you support him. So we had years and years of that to fight back through. So most people on YouTube that do retro, you won't find them wanting to promote us. We've got a better reputation now because people see the streams and that and know that we're doing what we're doing. So it's less of a problem now. But yeah, you won't. I don't think you'll find many people, wanting to advertise like none of the old school players that have already been about. Let me screenshot this. Oh no, I've got to be good. No, I would, but no, I've said it every day. I've got to be good. Then I have 2 takeaways in one day. Right, let's connect this up and check it works. And then I think that one screenshot can be the install guide for this then. That's literally all you do. You remove that resistor, you add them 4 wires, and you connect this ribbon. So this will be a way better install if it works. Come on, tiny ribbon. In you go. Hardest part about it is putting this in now. Oh yeah, I've been up and down my weight all my life. I was fat when I was a kid, thin when I was 20ish. Slowly got fat again over the last, 10, 12 years. Lost a good chunk of it now, but I've just put half a stone back on in a week and a half. Just got, I think you just get a bit bored, don't you, no matter how good you are and how hard you try. I just slowly started having the odd takeaway again. Then it was the Subway with the spud, and then that turned into Mackey's, and that turned into a week of nothing but food, and ended up with a Chinese, what was it yesterday? A Huel, 3 chocolate bars, or 4 I remember, after I realised I'd been eating them all day. The large Chinese at night, biscuits, just went nuts yesterday, and then put even more weight on. So, and then I've had that massive migraine, which is definitely off the sheer amount of shit food I've been eating. So I've got to be good, because I'm just getting nowhere now. I haven't lost any weight in, well, I'm the same weight now as I was nearly 6 months ago. That's how bad it is. But it's because I barely lost any in the last few months. So even putting a few pound on it sets you back months at the minute. Wow, I cannot get this is literally the hardest part of the entire guide, getting these stupid blue things in. There we go. Wow, that was difficult. Oh, nice. That's some weight loss. I think I was 18 stone when I was 15. I got down to 10 stone. I think 10 stone 11 at my very, very lightest. In my head, I was still fat though. It doesn't change anything. I think if you've been fat, you always think you're fat. And then I was like 18.5 stone last year on the TikTok videos. And then now I was 13.4. Now I'm back to nearly 14 stone again. It's just, I think if you have weight issues as well, the weight just goes back on so easy. It's like your body just wants you to be a little fatty. I think it's mental as well, isn't it? It's easy when it's easy, and then once it's not, it's very hard to stop yourself going back into bad habits. Right, we need some tape for this. I think I gave Rich my electrical tape for when he cut his finger. I haven't got any tape. I swear, in fact, I think it's just in the kitchen, isn't it? But there we go. Oh yeah, I've heard loads on the Monjaro stuff. There's so many people that say that like it goes back on, but I don't know whether that's just, it's like normal, isn't it? I've just eaten crap for eating. I think we have got like underactive metabolisms and stuff. So like when I was losing weight, it was calorie counting to ridiculousness, where all I'd have to do was eat like, I don't know, 4 spoons of rice more a day, and that's the difference between losing weight and not. And the only way I've lost all this weight is I've been having I've tracked everything, basically just had the calorie counting apps and tracked absolutely everything I had. And I was on 1,000 calories a day was the sweet spot where I'd lose weight. And that's where I lost a bucket of it over Christmas. Can't find a good place to put this in. But then for the last 3 or 4 months, I've been having, say, 1,600 calories a day and slowly gaining it. I'm like, that should not be. I know I sit on my arse all day, but that surely I shouldn't be putting weight on at that amount of calories. So I do think there's we have problems in our, I don't know, metabolisms or the way the body's working. Something isn't normal that other people, like as they always say, you can watch other people sit and eat 5,000 calories a day and they're like skin and bone. So I think that's the main problem we have, is just if you already have weight issues, I don't always think it's as simple as eat less. Like, it clearly isn't. There's too many people with weight issues these days. It can't be as simple as we're overeating. Yes, you do, but it can't just be that. Like I've always said it with my body, I know I can eat the exact same thing as the missus that's older and a woman that should be able to, I should be able to have more as a man than a woman. You should burn more calories. I'm taller, I'm younger. It's like, and yet I can eat the exact same thing and I'll put weight on and she won't. So that alone says it, that something's not the same in your metabolism. But no, I've had it all my life, and genuinely the only time I've ever lost weight is either absolute and utter starvation, literally water, nothing but water. For the way I used to lose weight was eat nothing for 3 to 4 weeks and I'd lose a few stone. I've never been able to diet, eat food and lose weight ever. This is the first time where I've eaten food and lost weight. Just because I've had to be, it's a lot harder to eat and not eat enough than it is to just decide to not eat whatsoever. Because when you're not eating, your hunger disappears after, I don't know, 3 days is what normally happens. The first day you're not too bad. Second day you're starving. Third day it tapers off. Fourth day you have no hunger whatsoever. It's just gone. Whereas when you're eating, your hunger never goes. It's like, well, it has slowly over time now, but as soon as you start eating, it's all come back again. It's like I've got constant hunger now because I've been slowly creeping more food in. So it's definitely, it's not easy, I think. But I do think it's not easy for some people, and it's definitely easier for others. But it seems like all these jabs and stuff definitely work, because how many people are losing weight, and it's the start of something fixing something, I think, in people's bodies, that's for sure. Whatever's wrong with the metabolisms and things, it's obviously helps with it. I can just clean that tape up. I really don't need to clean the tape up, but this is going to be a photo for the guide, so there we go. Just didn't want to press too hard. I didn't want to cut into the traces. Oh god, yeah, I think if I went to Japan, I think I'd lose weight, because I love all their foods. But the missus doesn't, so I never get them. But yeah, healthier fish and noodles and just general healthiness of like all the drinks and everything, isn't it? Right, that, I think. Do I need to do a photo of that? I suppose I can. That's like, it's not quite as nice as the other photo, because the ribbon's in the way, but we'll do a photo of that as well. Oh yeah, I can't see if I don't know. I had more control before, when I was like really being good for months ago, but then I slowly started having like bags of randoms where I'd have like a few and I would literally put them away, whereas now, just back to how normally I'm, I'll just open the bag and it's gone. I'm not stopping. Even if you're like sickly full, it's definitely like a mental thing where you just crave the, I don't know, the satisfaction from it, isn't it? Well, let me hide the chat off screen while I screenshot this. So the mic will probably mute a sec. There we go. And then what I was doing is picking healthier snacks like nuts, but then obviously they're way higher in calories. So you can have like hardly any. And I was doing that all right, but then found, I didn't save the last screenshot. This will be the only screenshot now then. Clean light, install. I suppose it doesn't matter because that's a single photo with everything on. Yeah, I found like this bag of nuts. What's it called? Forest forest feasts and they've got like cinnamon or honey on or something. So that's it. The bag of 800 calorie nuts has gone in 5 minutes. so annoying when you find something nice. Right, so this camera's not the best for showing it off because it's bright, but let's just see. Yay. So turn on, red light. Oh, it's not working. So maybe we need a stronger pull up still. We don't have to cut the trace, but I think we're going to still need that resistor. So this is thinking we're pressing the button when we're not. So it's still too low. I'm not sure why it pulls the signal low, but we are going to need a pull up resistor on the input more. So it's not, yeah, I'm not sure why that's needed. We shouldn't need it, but obviously there's a reason for it. It's maybe it's the it says knocking over the case. Maybe it's this voltage detect circuit here pulling it too low. So I think we can just bridge over this 10k. I think that'd be a clean one. Oh yeah, water's been a big thing I've improved on and kept up. Like I drink tons of water now. We need about a 1k, so a 910 ohm will do. And because we haven't cut the trace, I'm sure we're just strengthening this pull up. And it could be, to be honest, I could probably fix that in code as well. It's probably more the Raspberry Pi reading the voltage level. And maybe it's just reading it slightly low because it's a weak. This is not sending in much current into the ADC. But for now, let's just chuck this resistor on. And hopefully then, even if it's just a resistor, it's still no cut. And if I can be bothered, or if any of these sell more, I could probably just update the code to not need this resistor as well. So we're going to have to move these wires slightly out the way. Like so. Now my wiring isn't as neat. Maybe I can move that back once the resistor's on. Electron. For like your web apps, like your embedding web apps into desktops. So I use that for the stream JBC. I'm using Electron. Just because for fancy UI, it's much easier to use the web stack than it is Avalonia. To get like really fancy animations, the web stack's just way more mature. So quickly doing a web app and wrapping it in Electrons are still a nice little win for quick apps. There we go, that's on. So I've just piggybacked on top of that. Hopefully this is going to work now. I don't want to have to debug this further. I'm sure that will be the only problem, hopefully. Yes, there we go. So there's no reason I can think of why we need to add that. I added it at the time because it wasn't reading the voltage high, but I'm sure I can just change the code on this to not even need that resistor. But it comes in the bag anyway, and it's still not, you're not cutting anything, so it's not the end of the world. I'll do one little screenshot of this just in case. I'm going to keep the other screenshot without it because I'm sure we'll get it where it's not needed. And I'll do a separate screenshot showing that resistor on there. And then I'll put it on the guide for now until I change the code, that just stack a 1K, approximately 1K resistor on top. Resistor. But that'll be, all it does is the Pi is reading the voltage level on this pin, and because originally we cut the trace, I presume then we added a resistor back because we'd cut, effectively what we'd done is we'd cut this resistor out as part of the trace cut. So then I tried adding back a 10K and it didn't work. So I added a 1K and just presumed it was a quirk with cutting that trace. But now we aren't cutting the trace. this should have worked with the 10K pull-up and it's not. So that's why I reckon I can probably just change the timing on this to read the signal slower. And I highly doubt we're going to need to even add that resistor. And then it's just a no-cut. Keep knocking things over. It's just then a no-cut 4-wire install, which is much better. So now, let's have a look at this actually working. So can we get the exposure on this camera right? Or do we just put this over the top maybe? That's not far off. So see this LED on here? I make it so it goes red when you're pressing the button, so you know you're pressing it. If you press and let go, that's resetting the system. If you press and hold, you then change colour. So we go to a blue, a purple, a pinky purple. I liked the purple, by the way, so you had a few options. That's pure white. That's the blue and red. So you got like a kind of multicolour. That's like a rainbow colour. That's off, so you can have it off as well. Doesn't need to be on. That's another feature I added that people want to wear off. If you don't want it on, you can just, you know, it's now off, so it's a stealth mod. And then you carry on. You've got red, orange, yellow. I think there's maybe another yellow as well. No, green. 2 greens, so like a forest green and a lime green. And then we're back to, that's like a cyan. And then that's the deep blue. So it all depends on, it's like I'm around a campfire. Let's put it on red. You can just hold as well. You don't need to keep letting go. You can just hold to cycle all the colours. Red, there you go. Look. Warming campfire. Should be a screenshot to the stream. And then orange. There we go. So that's that. Let's now just quickly show you what it's like from here. Yeah, you want the there you go, looks better on there. You want the ones where it's the text is blue but it says green and you have to say the right one. So go to that one. Let's see how that looks red on this. There we go. That's actually the orange light. Let me turn off this maybe. No, the auto exposure makes it worse. Yeah, so but that's generally what it looks like. And then you can like change the colour. It just looks nice, doesn't it, I think? Well, it obviously did because we used to sell them loads, and then as soon as I made my own kit, no one brought it. That green's nice. I think, what have I got it? Well, I've got one in mind. I think I have mine set to green. I like the green. It's like a nice colour. That cyan's nice as well. Oh, pressing the button down. That's the blue. Purple's nice as well. That's nice. It's just nice to have the options, isn't it? So it's not a fixed colour. Pure white, even though it looks slightly pinky on there, that is literally, that's white. It's just the camera. Yeah, that one's more accurate colour-wise, but it is basically. And then that's, I don't know why I did this, just because I could, because technically you've got 8 different LEDs. You can have different ones. I could have fire effects. I could have animations. I could have anything. I didn't bother making more on the code because nobody's brought it. But this is a full NeoPixel LED. So think like the GBA clean light. You could technically have, you could have anything. These could all animate. You could have color changes. We could tap off another voltage pin or detect when a game loads and have this change color. There's literally so many things we could have done with this product, but I'm not devoting the time on it because nobody, like I say, no one buys it. So go forth and advertise this stream and sell me some goodies. And then at least that install guide now is way simpler. So that's yeah, that's a nice clean and easy install that I could probably do it now without having to even revert to my guide. So instead of having to think what to do, I now know to, hopefully every version's got this 47 ohm resistor we can remove. They'll all have a pull-up. So it's remove one resistor, add one other, and add 4 wires. It's an incredibly simple mod then. Whereas I think cutting the traces and wiring as going the other side of the board, that's a lot messier than this. So that's it anyway. I've got a ton of other work I need to do as well. and at least the headache's mostly gone until I move. If I move, the headache's still there, but I was feeling ill at the start of this stream. I was like tempted to come off. I was struggling, but that's that. We could add this to other products as well, because the benefit is this board has the code. We just need to make a little ring light that suits other products, or a little LED. Like, the other thing I was going to do is this output is so you can daisy chain, and we could have lit, say, the controller ports up and it just daisy chains off this port, or you can replace this product completely, but this driver board stays the same. So right, that's it anyway, guys. I've got to go. So I'll catch you now, probably maybe at the weekend or in a week, if not.